So you found it. The perfect Pathfinder 2nd edition adventure path. The story is epic, the villains are dastardly, and you know your players would absolutely devour it. But there's just one tiny bitty minuscule problem. Your group is a D&D 5e table. You could convert it, sure, but you're already picturing the headache. The math is all wrong, the monsters don't match up, and the whole thing feels like a disaster waiting to happen. Well, what if I told you there is a way, an enigma machine, if you will, for seemingly transitioning Pathfinder mechanics to D&D 5e, so you can run that adventure with total confidence. We're not just talking about sending off the serial numbers here. We're going to break down the core philosophy, give you some simple formulas for converting monsters, and show you how to adapt entire encounters without losing the soul of the adventure. Okay, let's get the biggest mistake out of the way. Trying to convert everything one to one. It's a trap, and it just won't work. See, D&D 5e is built on a design principle called bounded accuracy, which basically means the numbers from armor class to attack bonuses stay in a pretty tight and manageable range from level 1 to 20. Pathfinder 2nd edition, on the other hand, is a very tight level based math where the numbers get very big very fast. A plus 30 to hit bonus at high levels is totally normal in Pathfinder. In D&D, a creature with a bonus that high has probably just punched a god. So, our first and most important rule is this: convert the spirit, not the letter. Your job isn't to perfectly replicate the math, is to replicate the feel. Does the original adventure describe a monster as terrifying solo boss? Great! Your D&D version needs to feel just as scary, even if its stat blocks looks completely different. This is the heart of it all. Monsters are what you'll be converting most, and thankfully there is a pretty reliable method. First up, the easiest rule you'll ever learn. A monster in Pathfinder 2nd edition level just becomes its D&D 5e challenge rating. That's it. A level 7 Pathfinder baddie is now a CR7 D&D baddie. Don't even glance at the monster manual to see what the 5e thinks a creature's CR should be. Trust the adventure original level to keep the intended threat. Next, the core stats. Get ready for some quick and dirty maths. For armor class, a good starting point is to take the Pathfinder AC, then just subtract the level and tweak it out a bit if it's too low or too high. So, for example, a Pathfinder AC of 25 with a level 10 becomes a D&D AC of around 15. It's a ballpark estimate, but it gets you right where you need to be. For hit points, the direct math is a mess, so don't bother. Here's a better rule of thumb: figure out how much damage your party is likely to dish out in a single round. Give the monster about 3 times that much hit points. This ensures it can stick around for about 3 rounds, which is the sweet spot for D&D fun in combat. For ability modifiers, well, you can just keep them as they are, or you can just subtract one from the Pathfinder modifiers. But seriously, it works surprisingly often. Sometimes. Finally, their attacks. The monster's new proficiency bonus is based on its new CR, which you could look up in the Dungeon Master's Guide. Its attack bonus is just the new ability modifier plus their proficiency bonus. That's it. For any of its special abilities that require a save, the DC is 8 plus the monster's proficiency plus its main ability modifier. Easy peasy. Now that your monsters are ready for their D&D debut, you have to build the encounters. Pathfinder's encounter math is very precise, and you want to respect that. If the adventure says an encounter with a single creature 4 levels higher than the party is nail biting, near death experience, you want to recreate that feeling. If the party is supposed to fight 3 creatures of their level, then use your 3 newly converted D&D stat blocks and throw them into the ring. Trust the original design. Oh, and be careful with magic items. Pathfinder 2nd edition assumes players are getting a steady stream of magic gear to keep them up with the escalating numbers. 5e absolutely does not. When you convert an adventure, you need to pump up the brakes on the magic item fire hose. It's often way better to convert that +2 longsword into a one-time use consumable or just a nice pile of gold. Sooner or later, a player is going to ask if they can play a character concept from Pathfinder. The answer is yes, but with a catch. Do not try to convert the character sheet. The systems are just too different. Instead, convert the idea. A player who loves their orc barbarian at Pathfinder can play an orc barbarian in D&D. A gnome who was a trickery inventor can be beautifully reimagined as a rock gnome artificer. You're not porting mechanics, you're capturing the essence of the character and rebuilding their story from the ground up using 5e's rules. And that's the framework. It might feel like a lot at first, but once you get the hang of it, you'll be converting creatures on the fly. The key is to start with the solid foundation, CR equals level, and then trust your gut. Trust the original adventure design, but don't be afraid to make small tweaks during the game to hit that perfect sweet spot. It's your game after all. If this guide helped you out, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe for more. And I want to hear from you. What Pathfinder mechanic do you find the most challenging to convert? Let me know in the comments. Now, go bring those amazing stories to your table.